Good evening. If it's good morning where you are, good morning. If it's good afternoon where you are. If it's afternoon where you are, good afternoon. But for us here, um, it is good evening. And so, thank you guys for always coming live with me. Today is our counselor's corner with Uche Onochie. That's with me. So, and basically, what we do here is to try to guide people. I always try to let people understand what we're doing here, so that it not look as if it's not without a purpose. Counselor's Corner really started fully in 2020 during the lockdown. I used to come up and come live maybe once a month to answer a couple of questions. But during the lockdown, I had to come every week. Some weeks we had two times I had to come because people were confused at that time and were asking me, how do I earn? How do I earn? How do I take care of myself and my family at that particular point in time? So I had to come a week, two times, sometimes two times a week, to speak to people. So how does it work? People just ask their questions. People just put out their questions on my DM, and I will come and answer it. Like I said, there was a lot of confusion during the lockdown, so people wanted to get find out a lot of things, and people also wanted to bond with someone. And since I have a large followership of which I mentor, so it was easy for us to gather and learn. So how it works is that you just put out your question, you put it out in your DM, sorry, my DM, and I'll come and I'll answer it once a week. But if you're live with me, you can also put out the questions. You can also put out your questions. I can discuss it live. I see Ebuka or Ebuk. He has joined on Instagram. God bless you too. I see that. I see a couple of people. Yeah. Um, I see a couple of people that come, regularly for what we're doing here. So I'll just go straight and I'll just answer the questions that people have asked. Someone asked, "How can I listen to my inner voice?" This is a very good question. And whoever is asking this, I hope you listen, because I really this is a topic I enjoy, and that's one of the things that I feel that changed my life and changed my perspective to life. It's the ability to listen to my inner voice. How do you listen to your inner voice in the midst of all these things that are not just speaking around you, but they are screaming around you? Television, the social media, people, friends. There are a lot of things that are speaking, and you realize that you are not able to find yourself in all this. You're reading books. There's so much gloom and doom when you listen to news. There's so much information out there, and it can lead to um um what is it called, analysis paralysis, because you have so much information and you don't know what to do with it. And there are some critical moments in your life, when to change a job. Most of the time, you come out of school, you come out of university, it doesn't matter what you want to do in life. Most of us just take the next available job and say and be grateful that we got that job. But as you get older, you realize that you want to move towards your own calling. But how do you recognize your own calling in the midst of all this noise? And just like every young man, um, growing up, most young men want to be successful. Most young men want to be rich. Most young men want to marry. We all had in secondary school. We used to sit down and we used to say quite a lot of. We had plans at 25. All of us said at 25 we're going to be multi-millionaires. We're going to have two cars. By 28 we're married. We'll do a lot of things, but it did not quite work out like that because you don't even know yourself. And the last place I worked, I said to myself, this is the last place I was going to work. And this man was going to teach me how to. I sat in the first budget session and I looked at him, the way he was conducting the whole budget session. I said, this man will teach me how to create, how to make wealth. and and so I was not so much interested in the salary. I was interested in how to run an organization, to understand the things that it takes to run an organization. So I said, I'm going to have a group of companies. We're going to do this, we're going to do that. I started registering companies. Before I stopped working, I had my main company now, Madison Energy. So I started doing things. Yeah, and it was successful. Some of them were successful. I've started a lot of businesses, and a lot of them failed, and a few of them succeeded. So I am able to understand the pain of failure and also the excitement of success. So the thing is, after all this, as I got older, I started realizing that this direction I'm going does not get me fulfilled. It doesn't give me that satisfaction that I want, that I expect. It doesn't give it to me. And I started wondering, what is my life calling? What is my life calling? I think one evening I was just watching the television, and I just there's this channels, Chinese channels on DSTV. If I think there's this documentary, Chinese documentary channel. I don't know how I got there, and what they were talking about was meditation, how Buddha used to meditate, and how they used to do quite a lot of things. And so I started realizing that, oh, so I it's possible that I can discover myself, because that was one of the things that I heard in that documentary. So, but I really didn't know how to go about it. But I just said, well, if you, I read somewhere in the Bible, God saying that if you seek me early, you will find me. And I know that most successful people, they they start their days very early. So I get up 3:30 in the morning and I just sit down. I just have a favorite couch and I just go there and I sit down and I just think. I did it a couple of days, a couple of weeks, but I had an issue. I tried it for 1 week, but I stopped because once I start thinking, all manner of horrible thoughts be coming, they will just be coming. And I'm like, am I such a bad person that this type of horrible things are going through my mind? Until I realize that those thoughts are really not mine. And you need to know that there's some of the thoughts that come through you, they're not your thoughts. It happens to everybody. Those thoughts seem to like just revolving and rotating around the galaxies, and whoever is thinking at that time, it will come through you. So the good, the bad, the ugly thoughts, all of them will come through you. So I was a bit frustrated. I didn't know what to do. I stopped it for about a week. Then I just said, what the hell? Everything you must learn, go through the learning curve and everything. Let me just go through this. Let me just try it. I have nothing to lose. So after the first week that I came back, after the first week, I realized that within 10 minutes, all those thoughts go away. And I start thinking about the things I'm going to do in the office. Do you know, at that hour I start realizing thoughts of what I need to do, who I need to call, who I need to see, some of the things I need to do in the office. Those thoughts begin to come, and I was like, goodness me, these are the things. I was being reminded of the things that I need to do. It looks like it's magic, but it's not magic. I've not gotten to the inner voice yet, but I was able to start organizing my day and my thoughts, because those thoughts go away, then my own thoughts begin to come. But now see that those thoughts are thoughts that are originated from the things that I need to do, the things I've thought throughout the day before, that are like challenges I want to solve. This is where you get solutions. This is where you get solutions to your problems. And for inventors, it's at that time that they are able to get the inventions, they'll get the ideas. Because those things, let me tell you something, everybody that have invented, they always tell you the idea came from outside of them. So it's not like they had the solution, but the idea came from somewhere. So you must train your mind to be able to get that idea from somewhere. And there's only one way you can get solutions that you can use for yourself and use for people, is when you are able to download that those solutions from the point and the hour of meditation. If you want to go far in life, you must know how to meditate. If you must go far in life, you must learn how to meditate. So that's how I started rearranging my thoughts, and I became happy. I did it for a couple of weeks until one day, this is quite interesting, and mind boggling. One day I heard my inner voice. One day I heard Uche speak to me. That's my spirit man speaking to me, telling me the things that are important to me. Because then I had 4 or 5 companies I'd registered. I had plans for each and every one of them. And so I had a group of companies. I said, I want to do this, I want to do that. I've set targets of what I need to do before the age of 30. But my inner self just started speaking to me. And that's when I realized that the calling that I have is the calling of grooming people, developing people. This is where I find joy. This is where I find joy. This is where I have my fullest expression. This is where my gifts are put to the test, and it doesn't trouble me at all. This is what you can call me at any particular point in time, and I'm able to help out. There used to be times I have to prepare quite a lot to be able to speak. But I say this with all humility, I don't prepare anymore. All I just need to do is to hear a topic, and I open my mouth. Even if I have points before I get there, I just open my mouth and I begin to speak. It can be because I am getting that assistance, because I know how to get that assistance to be able to do what I do. And it's at this point I realize and recognize who I was, the things that are important to me. And I heard myself speak of the things that are important to me, and that was service. If I have to summarize it, it is service. For those of you listening to me today, life is all about service. Your wealth, your growth, your promotion, everything you do in life has to do with service. Look at the richest people on earth today. How are they rich? Service. They're serving mankind, one thing or the other, either a product or a service. You are offering something. And let me tell you another thing. Everything about you has already been designed. Um, Let me rephrase. Your wealth, your wealth is already is your wealth is tied to your person. Your wealth is tied to your personality. So everything about you, God has given you all that pertains to life and godliness. Everything about you is what is going to help you to uh, attain that greatness, that wealth, or whatever you're looking for. See, everything you need is already inside of you to achieve that thing you want to achieve. Everything. What you need is not outside of you, it's inside of you. And who will bring it out for you? It is that inner man. It is that you're that because we all know that we're spirit, body, and soul. And I'm not talking about the body, and I'm not talking about the soul. I am talking because the soul is just about the five senses. You use your five senses to relate with the earth, but you're a spirit being. And you relate with the spirit creator, and that creator speaks to you what he created you for. He speaks to you from spirit to spirit. So if you don't know how to get it from spirit to spirit, you'll be stranded in life, and you'll be doing a lot of permutations and a lot of, oh, let's try this, let's try this, like a drunken person groping in the dark. But until the day you realize how to connect to the spirit, how to connect to your creator and receive it and download it to your spirit man, who now downloads it to your soul, and your body now begins to respond to it, you will be stuck. And that's when I realized that, oh, the things I was pursuing was not the things that were dear, or what not dear to my heart, because I didn't know it was there, but the things I was created to do. So I now sat down and I said, how am I able to do this assignment that God has called me to do? So I had to now restructure my life. I realized that I cannot be an MD again. I knew that there was no way I can run a company like I used to be an MD. So I had to change quite a lot of things, because I now said to myself, in the place of prayer, in those moments of meditation, God started downloading to me. Only an investor will be able to have time, invest in things that will make you and the family not to go hungry, but you are also able to do that thing that you love. Most of us, we are doing things that we don't love for two reasons. We don't even know ourselves. We don't even know the things we are called to do. So we're just doing everything. But your wealth and your success is tied to that thing that you were created to do. And that's where success comes. And that's where fulfillment comes. And that's where satisfaction comes. So it is very important to anybody that is listening to me. You have to slow down. I told a banker friend of mine, I said, look, slow down, because at the age of 25, which was not that common. By the time I was 25, it wasn't that common for a 25-year-old to have high blood pressure. It wasn't that, we didn't hear that. It's either the information wasn't there, or but we didn't know that we just felt that in fact, when I was growing up, they said high blood pressure is rich man's disease. It sounds funny right now. They said it's rich man's disease. It's rich people that have high blood pressure, and because usually they are the ones that have big tummy, and the ones that are fat and all those things. But there's a lot of knowledge now, and I told him to slow down and find that place that is suited for you, and you are suited for. Because if you don't find it, you'll not be able to express yourself to the fullest, and you might grow old and begin to regret. Before, I bet you, before you are 65, 70, you will get to the point you realize what God created you for. And if you didn't do it, you will live in regret for the rest of your life. So now, people look at me. I wasn't that I wasn't the top 10 in school. I wasn't. So for me to do what I'm doing now, and I get professors to sit down and listen to me, it's a wonder to some of my classmates. One of my schoolmates met my elder brother in at the airport, and my elder brother had one of my books, and he said, "Look, this has to be God." Because the Uche we know does not is not the type that has time for all these things. So it just has to be God. But I said yes, it's God, but it's also Uche has discovered his place. If you don't discover your place, you'll be like fish out of water. I can do what I do effortlessly because I'm like a fish in water. And you also have to take time and discover um, where you are called and what you are called to. Then another thing I want to talk about is, see, that thing you're called to might not start, you might not start earning from it immediately. It might not immediately turn you into a multi-millionaire like you think. No. Some things, yeah, it's fast. For some things, like people like us in human capacity development, it doesn't come that fast in terms of the financial reward. But when it comes, it looks as if maybe this is voodoo money, but it comes. It will surely come. Though it tarries, it will surely come, and it will not tarry. So that's what I'm saying. You must your destiny, your destiny, your success, your wealth is all tied to who you are. And if you don't discover who you are, how can you be successful? God has called you to be a ship magnet. God has called you to be an entrepreneur, but um, you want to be a career person, you want to be a banker. But this is not what God has in store for you. You know, and we used to have a friend. I think we're from the same. We're from the same area, from the same state, and he used to tell me that when he sleeps, he sees himself in water and ship, different kind of ships. Sometimes he sees himself in a small boat. He sees himself in manufacturing boats. He sees himself doing all manner of things. That was where we were in secondary school. And I said, but you're not from the closest place to us. From where I come is River Niger, is Asaba, between Asaba and Onitsha. So it's not like we are from proper riverine area, And so but he kept saying it. And so, but I saw him after secondary school. I didn't see him for many years. He read engineering, but I heard that when he finished, he now went back to, he now went to naval school. This is their short course to become. He served there for another 10 to 10 years or thereabout. Then he relocated to the US, and now all he does is that ship. He has shipping lines, and that's basically what he does. And he enjoys going out shipping and fishing. Rather, he enjoys. He has a lot of things that he has partners that they have cruise ship with. He's a multi-millionaire, no doubt. So sometimes, but this wasn't what he was thinking. How did I just mentioned this thing I mentioned to you after the one time we talked on the phone, and I said to him, "This is what I'm doing to discover myself." I didn't know he took it seriously, so he also did the same thing, and God brought him in contact with a Chinese guy who now taught him how to meditate, and voila, look at where he is today. So we have different our idea of what we want to be is not God's idea of what He has created us to be. So there must be we must come to that realization of who we are. If not, we keep struggling. So the inner voice is very important. important for you to realize how to get that inner voice. So I beg you, this is something everybody needs to do. Um, everybody needs to do. Okay, to be able to to be able to know what God has called them. Ebuka says here, he says, I have a personal question, sir. Say, my question is, how do you grow your patience not to easily give up on projects, pursuits, people, and plans? How do you increase your level of discipline? Um, patience is something is patience is something that for me, apart from coming with maturity, um, it also comes with when the desire for what you want, when the desire for what you want to achieve is greater than, say, maybe insult, or is greater than embarrassment, then you know that you succeed. Let me break it down. There was a time, I don't know if Ebuka, if you're back, I'm answering your question. There was a time in pushing Make in Nigeria. For those of you that know about Make in Nigeria, it's one of the largest exhibition and conference in South, South, and Southeast. We do it every year. This year, we're getting ready for the 13th edition. So I went out marketing. Yeah, I went out marketing the event with a friend of mine. He said he wanted to tag along. And so we went to 2 or 3 offices. We met one man, and that man was kind of rude. The man was kind of rude. And when we came out from there, my friend was saying, how can you, when we came out from there, we went somewhere else and it was not successful. And the guy said, look, I will not follow you out again. How can you take this insult? Uche, how can you take this insult from these people? I laughed. I said, look, because I see the end. I'm able to be patient because I see the end. And so, because my desire to get to my end point and succeed is stronger than the embarrassment I'm facing. So I have to be patient. So someone, assuming now, you have to work for 5 years. Maybe you're not from a rich home. You have to work for 5 years to gather capital to start your business. But you have a terrible boss, and nobody guarantees you that you have a good boss. That having a good boss is just a bonus. Is not is rare. It's not all the time you have somebody that is good. So you know that this is what you need to put aside to be able to start this business, but you have a terrible boss. But you need to save that capital to start. What do? You have to learn patience. You have to learn patience to be able to get what you want, Ebuka. You have to, there's a saying that you have to stoop low to conquer. You have to stoop low to conquer. Sometimes we take a lot of rubbish at work. Why? Because you have a 6-month-old baby and a wife that is not working, and a 6-month-old baby, you will have that patience. When you see that people depend on you, you will not make hasty decision. Have you seen in the office? The married men don't strike like the single men do, because they have responsibilities. So that is one of the things about patience. You talk about give up on projects. See, like whatever you want to achieve, as you keep thinking about it every day, your desire to achieve it keeps growing every day as well. Until a time comes, you know that you have to go through some certain things to be able to bet that vision. It helps you to be patient. Then discipline is also the same thing. I have to get up in the morning. I don't know where you are, but like in Lagos, while I was in Lagos, you have to get up 4 o'clock in the morning to get to work, and you come back by 11 p.m. to get up by 4 again to go to work. And so you realize that you don't have time. If you need that job, you have to be disciplined. And I pity drivers, the company drivers. Some of them are coming from Ikorodu, some of them are coming from one, God knows wherever, and they come to work and nobody looks at them to see if there's anything wrong with them at all. Discipline. Discipline for what you want to achieve, you have to discipline yourself. Okay, let me use myself. Ebuka, I hope that is your name, because what I see is Ebu underscore E. If it's not, pardon me, but let's just use that for now. So now I'm a speaker. Now I'm a trainer. Now I'm a motivator, inspirator. Now I groom people. But I don't have a social life. I don't have much of a social life. This is my office. This is where are those my books? I just bought 3 books. Where are they? Okay, they're here. So look at, yeah. Just bring all of them. I just bought these books. This one is 12 Rules for Life. This one is How to Talk to Anyone, Anytime, Anywhere, Larry King. Then this book is also, it's called Quiet for Introverts, The Power of Introverts in a World That Cannot Stop Talking. 3 books. I have one that I'm reading. You can put this back. Let me have this one. Yeah. Then this one, Ebuka, perhaps you have to, you have to read this. The 4-hour work week. I want to work only 4 hours in a week. I think you should buy this book as well. So now, discipline. There's nothing as embarrassing as going to speak. Nothing as embarrassing as going to speak and you don't know what to say. It's quite embarrassing that you don't know what to say. So discipline, I don't have a social life. I have to read as if I have thesis to write every single day. I have to discipline myself for what I want to achieve. So I sat down one day. I said, Uche, what do you want? I want to be a thought leader that is sought after globally. Okay, fine. You can be anything that you want. You can achieve everything that you want. So what is it that it takes for you to become that thought leader? One of them is that you have to read. One of them is that you have, so I wake up, I have no time. My time is like a regimented life. I get up 3:30 in the morning and I try my best by 8:30, 9 p.m. I need to be asleep so that I can get up. Sometimes I don't make it because of family issues. This I need to do to become that inspirator, that motivator. These are the things that I need to do. So, like I said, let me summarize this, Ebuka. If the desire for what you want to achieve and become is greater than what it takes to become that thing, come. If it becomes greater, use this. You have to You have the desire. Sorry, I had to change the device. If the desire for what you want, so I see myself as a thought leader, I see myself as a thought leader, how the things that I need to become that, I have to find out this is what I need to live that life. Then you have to discipline yourself. I was reading about Michael Jackson many years ago. Michael Jackson was someone that he did not have his youth was he was robbed of his youth. We all know that story. Was like Peter Pan, the guy that never grew up. So he was robbed. He was robbed of his youth. But look at the success. There's no success without labor. There's no success without discipline. The level of achievement, or your level of achievement, is directly proportional to the discipline and that which you put into that thing you want to become. There's just no way. There's just no way. And you see, we all need mentors. That's why I say that I have to come at least every Friday to be able to do this. Because sometimes if you need guidance. So Ebuka, you need to know what you want. You see, the desire for me to become a global thought leader is higher than the pain or the discipline, what I need to discipline myself to get there. So every time I look at myself and I see my image of myself in CNN speaking at UN or speaking at speaking at a global platform, I realize that which I put in now, or what I'm putting in now, cannot be compared to it. So Ebuka is about desire. How bad do you want it? If you want it that bad, you are going to do whatever it takes. There is labor to achieve whatever you want. And once you keep putting it, you keep putting in that labor, you will become that thing. Yeah, that's just the way it works. So I have another question. I might not answer it as I've done this, but remember, I gave you steps on how to get your inner voice, to hear your inner voice. Let's start with that. Hearing your inner voice. Let's start with that. And please feel free to put out any question. I'll be here. I'll be here next Friday, same time, next Friday, to answer your questions. If you have any of you, thank you. I see some of my friends on Instagram here on my personal page. Thank you guys for coming. Sonny, thank you for coming. I see Julia. I saw her earlier. Thank you. Ima, oh, thank you for coming. Geoffrey, thank you also for coming today. And those of you on YouTube also, thank you for coming. I'll just take like 5-10 minutes to just answer the second question. You say, how do I stop dwelling in the past? This I will talk about this. I will talk about this maybe next week as well. I got to a point in my life I had to, me and some friends of mine would say we've torn the contract paper with something. So I have torn contract paper with my past. Your past is a limiting factor, not just your past. Your past and your future are two things that are deceptive in nature. Your past and your future derail you, can derail you. Your past and your future, and I'll break it down to you, for you rather. I've torn contract paper with my past. See what happens. Your past will only bring out negative things, remind you of negative things. This is how the subconscious works, subconscious mind works. So something happened to me, and every time something similar wants to happen to you again, you know what happened? Your subconscious mind comes to remind you, this is what happened. So be careful so that you don't end up like that. Your past is never tells you about, your subconscious mind never brings out positive things about what happened, your successes in the past. It brings out your failure. So think of your past. Every time you think of your past, it is taking you back to things, failures in the past. I'm not saying that everything in your past is totally bad. No, but take what you need to take, but stop looking backwards. When you keep looking backwards, you're going to miss your step, or you're going to miss your steps. You have to keep looking forward. Stop looking backward. Don't stop looking, oh, this was what happened, why this relationship didn't work. This was what happened, why this business didn't work. This was what happened. Some people are still crying. This is 5 years. You are still crying for somebody that left you. Somebody that left your life 5 years ago, you're still crying. And you're still praying to God that to curse the person, whereas the person has moved on, married, and doing very well. If God could answer those type of prayers, I'm sure many of us will not be here. But what am I saying is that it will continue the past. Once you finish crying, you have to make up your mind. How do I move forward? How do I move from this place? So I have no business with my past. I'm too focused on my future, not my future. I'm too focused on now, not my future. Let me also tell you why I have beef, serious beef with my future. My future, or not my future, the future is like an illusion. It never comes. Next week, Friday, if you're going to be here next week, Friday is the future. Tomorrow morning is the future. Once you sleep and wake up is the future that we talked about today. So the future keeps shifting. The goalpost keeps shifting. Let me tell you, all you have and all you will ever have in life is now. Let me recommend a book for you guys. It's called The Power of Now. I think it's Escatole. That will bless you out of your socks. I tell you, it is the power of now. All you have now is now, because God never promised you tomorrow. He promised you today. Once you wake up, all you have is today. Some people are here with us today. They will not be with us tomorrow. So this is all you have. So now you tell me, oh, so I have to make plans. How about making plans? I don't make 5 years. I don't make those 5 years long plan anymore. I don't do all those things. I want to achieve this in future, but I have to start doing it now so that I'll be there. What can I start? What do I start doing now that will take me to that future? And I don't have to keep thinking about the future. All I have to do is keep thinking now. What do I need to do now to become that global thought leader? What do I need to do now? How can I move my business forward now? I know what I want to be. I already have the picture in my mind. Every night, that picture is right there in my mind. So I know where I'm going. But what I focus on is, what do I need to do now to get me to that future? Because when I get into that future, it is now. So concentrate on now. And let me advise men, this is the time. Don't wait for the future when you have a better job and so that you will make out time for your wife and your kids. No, make out time for your wife and your kid right now. Don't wait. Don't wait till when you're successful. This is the mistake most men make. Oh, if only I can get a better job, my business is doing well, then I will go on that holiday with my spouse, or I'll go on that holiday with my girlfriend or whatever. Do it now, because what you have is now. If I make so much money, I will have time for my kids. By the time you make money, your kids are teenagers and they are rebellious, and you were never in the house. I will do those things for my parents in the next 2 years. What if they die before that 2 years? I have a friend today, one of his greatest regret is that he wanted to take his mom. His mom had been saying she wants to go to a country or do something, and he said, "Oh, look, mom, I will take you," but she died. All you have, guys, is now. All you have and will ever have is now. So your past is not as important as your now. Your future is not as important as your now. So, guys, just think about what you want. Enjoy life now. If you want to be rich, then you need to be able to learn how to save, how money works, what do I do with the money that I've put aside. Understand those things and start doing it now. It's not when you have all the, it's not when, a lot of young people look, I'm looking at there's this contract or deal I'm going to do, I'm going to have 10 million naira, then I start my saving, I start my wealth creation plan. Then no, you start your wealth creation with as low as 1,000 or 500 or 200, whichever currency that you have. See, there is never time. There's never time that is going to be right for you to do those things. All you have is now. See, all this past and future and great, plenty plans and all those things. Wow. It just keeps you, it just keeps you chasing shadows. It's like a mirage. The more you get closer, it moves. The more it gets closer, it moves. Like a butterfly, it's here now, it's gone tomorrow. People that are close to you, your friends that are dear to you, stay in touch now. Do what you need to do now, because we don't have tomorrow. So, guys, thank you for coming. Wow, Julia, I see you. How you doing? Um, Thank you, guys, for Timmy. I also see you. Precious, I see you guys. Thank you, guys, for coming. Every Friday, this time, 6 p.m. West African time, Nigerian time, I'm here for Counselor's Corner. How does it work? People just put out a question. If you follow me, put out a question, and I come in and I answer. I just come in and answer. I have a Facebook group. We will put out that link. It's Uche Onochie Marketplace Network, right? Uche Onochie Marketplace Network, Facebook. You can also follow me on my channel, YouTube channel, Uche Onochie on YouTube channel, and reach out to me on any of my DM. Just put your question there. Next week I will come and I'll answer. And somebody asked me, can I do this twice a week? Yeah, if the questions are more. Some questions don't need answers, but the ones that do, I will come here to answer. Ebuka, thank you for coming. I see your comments. Thank you. And just help us share it. And when you get the link, just share it and let people ask questions. They said a sealed lips is a sealed destiny. If you have things that we can share, as time goes on, I can even get to ask one or two of you to join me in the platform on Instagram or on YouTube, and let us just have some form of discussion. So you not look as if I'm the one that is just talking. I'd like to get your feedback, but as we go, we will do that. So just put out your questions. Let's talk about life. and the things, issues, and God has given us grace to bring out this these secrets and these tips that can help us. So I think that just let us just try Fridays, and let's just take 1 hour and just learn something that can help us, and so we can brainstorm through the weekend, and on Monday we have things that we can run with. One more time, thank you guys for coming out. I do appreciate you guys. Till next week. Follow me on my social media. I have quite a lot that I'm doing this period, and ask me the questions. You can get in touch with me. I coach one-on-one. If you want me to coach you one-on-one as well, you can reach out. Thank you guys. God bless. See you guys next week.